Thank you, one and all, for allowing me to share your special day in which we recognize and celebrate your scholarly achievements. You are all wonderful, unique people. And as such, there is no need for me to tell you 10 tips on how to live your life. But what I would like to do, if possible, is to tell you a little story. In fact, the story is 22 years ago to this very day. In fact, to this very hour. And if we go back 22 years, I was in hospital. I was in Salisbury. I was at what they call the recovery stage, the rehabilitation stage. And this is where you're sort of learning to get up, get in a wheelchair, and learning to be somebody who uses a wheelchair for their day-to-day life. During the night, I had dreamt that I could walk. It was a very vivid dream, and I remember walking along the beach, feeling the sand and the water between my toes. And so, when I woke and the enormity of the paralysis hit me, I became extremely upset. And after sorting myself out during the morning, I took myself off to a quiet part of the hospital, in silence, and I held my head in my hand and I just sobbed. And after a short time, through my little blurry eyes, I could see a little frog. And I was watching it, and its path was going to take it directly in front of me. So I remained motionless. And the frog came closer, and it finally stopped in front of me. And it turned, and it looked at me. And I thought we sort of shared a moment. And then the frog said, "Sorry, mate, you look a bit upset. Are you okay?" Now, two things sprung to mind. First thing was a frog that speaks English. Don't come across many of those. And the second is, I've got to stop taking morphine. But in for a penny, in for a pound. I thought, well, let's have a little chat. And I said, well, you know what? I'm actually quite upset. I've had this dream, and it's made me upset. It made me realize that I couldn't walk. And the frog said, you know what? Tell you what, why don't you come with me? We're having our annual mountain climbing competition. And I said, you what? He goes, yeah, all the frogs from the area, we all come down, we all try and climb the mountain, no one ever makes it. It's far too difficult. But we just do it, and it's a party. You know, we've got pasties and everything. And I thought, well, if you've got pasties, I'm in. I'm from Cornwall. I do love a pasty. And so I followed the little frog, and off we went down to the secret garden, and we went in through the bushes, and there was a gigantic mountain that I had never seen before, and all the little frogs around the mountain. And on the word go, off they went, and they all tried to start climbing the mountain, and there were those around that weren't climbing it, and they were all saying, don't know why we bother, no one ever makes it to the top. It's too difficult, it's too high, we're just frogs, we can never climb a mountain. And gradually, one by one, the frogs started to come back down. They'd given up. They said, yeah, mountain's too high, we can't climb the mountain, we're frogs, we can't do that, it's impossible. And after a short time, all the frogs were back, and they said, that's it, another year's done, time for celebration. And we were about to go off and enjoy some pasties when someone said, hang on a second, wait, there's one more frog on the mountain. And everybody turned and looked, and it was the tiniest little frog, just barely out of being a tadpole. And it was still climbing up the mountain. And everybody started shouting, hey, come down, you're too small. You're just a frog. What are you trying to do climbing the mountain? It's too difficult. But the frog kept going. And whilst everybody else was trying to call it down, the frog didn't stop. And it reached the top. Everybody was amazed. They couldn't believe it. A frog had got to the top. Who would have thought? And after a while, the frog had come back down to the bottom, and everybody gathered around the little frog and said, "What were you doing? You're just a frog, you're too small. How did you do it?" We found out that the frog was deaf. And the frog had never heard people tell him he couldn't do it. He had just believed in himself, and he had tried his best. And on that day, his best had got him to the top. Okay, some of my story is made up, but there is a real reason for me telling it. Over those past 22 years, I have come across many people with a negative narrative. People who have told me I can't do things. For example, when I was in hospital and I said, "I'm going to learn to ski," everybody just said, "Oh, you're never going to learn to ski. Just focus on getting out of hospital. Forget about the future. Just focus on trying to get yourself out of hospital." And then when I did go skiing and I turned up, the instructor said to me, "Talan, you're never going to become a racer. You're too disabled. Only people with stomach muscles can ski and become racers. And I'm paralyzed at this level down, so I have no core stability." They said, "Your lot, you just cruise around the mountain. We're going to give you a bi-ski, which is like a nice cruisy thing, and off you go, have fun." And when I decided that I would like to learn to ride a motorbike and become a racer, again, everybody said, "That's never going to happen. There's no such thing as paralyzed motorcycle racers, and there never will be paralyzed motorcycle racers." Now, as you leave this wonderful establishment and you go out into the wide world, you are going to come across people who are a bit like the frogs, who are telling you that you can't do things. Your colleagues, your bosses, some keyboard warriors, they will all be saying the same negativity. They are putting the limitations that they have put on themselves onto you. It's sort of this transference. If they can't do it, you couldn't do it. And so you will be given a choice. The path of least resistance is to accept what they say, to not try, to give up before you've even started. The harder path is to be the little frog, to be deaf to that negativity, to believe and to trust in yourself. But you do look for inspiration to take this harder path. And where do you look? During my time in hospital, I had 16 weeks of bed rest. At the time, we weren't allowed phones, we weren't allowed computers. I got very bored. But that boredom allowed me to have an honest conversation with myself, to peel away the layers that I had put in front, and to get to my core, to get to my personal values. And right in the very depths of my soul, I found a resource of energy, of power, of resilience. And it is my true belief that every single one of us has that resilience inside. I call it the little person inside. It will always be there to help you take the next step forward. It will always be there to help you make the difficult decisions. So it is about trusting and believing in yourself, because it is only you that knows what it is like to be you. And you are amazing. You have this incredible power within you to always achieve the goals that you set yourself. But you do get a choice. And my choice has been to trust and believe in the little person inside and to go beyond ordinary. And I hope that as you make your way through your futures, you make the same choice as well. Thank you very much.